Hello, YouTube. This is Keith, Kevin, Ken. I'm Kevin, and what you see in front of you is today's EDC, Everyday Carry, and this is the Pocket Dump Deconstruction. That right there is a picture that I posted to Instagram literally 6 minutes ago. And now we're on YouTube. I turned my Apple 6S Plus to video, and now we're going to do the YouTube deconstruction. Let's talk about this and then play with a bunch of knives. This is one of my regular rotation watches. It's the Tag. The light's playing with the face. That's why I have it tilted. But just so wonderful. I love how it's constructed. I talk about it all the time in my videos. Check out the videos. There's a bunch of EDC pocket dumps I upload every single day. Sometimes YouTube gives me some trouble, but I still record every day and try to upload them. I think we're caught up now. So there's a big playlist of EDC. We also have some mini collection videos, Sebenzas, Spydercos, browse blades, and a whole lot more collection videos coming your way. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that YouTube reminds you as soon as I upload a video. I talk about this being the picture on Instagram. Instagram is at Keith Kevin Ken. Always a handmade cigar, mostly Cuban, but not always Cuban. This happens to be a very well-known brand in Cuban cigars, in all kinds of cigars, but it's a beautiful smoke. The h.upman, that's what I celebrate each day. By the way, today is March 9th. It's Wednesday on the East Coast. Oh, spring is coming in. Already, the sun is rising early in the morning, so that's very good news. I'm happy. I'm really going to celebrate it after I'm over the hump today, and I'm going to celebrate it with scotch. That's one of my Mont Blanc really thin wallets, and that's Word. I love that kind of burnt orange. I've been playing with my burnt orange knives, HAP 40 knives from Spyderco, and I really like that burnt orange kind of notepad. The coin today, let me give it some shade. It's kind of a special coin, actually. There we go. It's the Britannia, the British Britannia. That's their 1 ounce silver coin, their official silver coin. This one right here is from 1997. That's the very first Britannia ever minted. I put that in my pocket for good luck, just like my granddad. I also love knives, just like my granddad. So let's talk about the carry. At the end of this carry, there's going to be 9 knives on the table. So as I go through why I picked what I picked, let me just start by saying I woke up and I just wanted a classic carry. And so I went into my Pelican cases. People always ask, how do I store my knives? I store them in 4 Pelican cases, 3 1550s, and 1 1600. But I went through saying I'm going to do a classic carry. And this is what I came up with. There are some knives that got away, and we'll talk about those at the end of this. But man, you can't get more classic in my mind. Other people have their version of classic. I get it. I'm just talking about in the Kevin from Keith Kevin Ken channel. This is my version of classic. And one reason is I love Spyderco and I love Chris Reeve. Oh yeah. I can't say the words classic without having a cricket. I just can't. To me, this is the classic keychain knife. I always carry a keychain knife. I have 3 keys and just a loop, a silver loop, so I always put a keychain knife on it. One, for decoration. How's that for decoration? Dangling from your knives. Two, because it's very useful with that reverse S shape, that Spyderco reverse S. It's very useful. Look at the belly. It has a wonderful frame lock, Chris Reeve integral frame lock. And I love it. The belly, it's so sharp. The belly, it also has, because it's a reverse S, it has that tip that you can do a lot of things, whether it's opening an envelope or a box, or with that belly, cutting off my cigar to smoke. It's just a wonderful knife. This Spyderco, and by the way, and I know it's a small knife, but they're sharp and they are ferocious for a small knife. So that's another thing. But it doesn't scare anyone. People play with this knife all the time. They love the shape, they love the color, and this is classy. This is Spyderco's Necision. Necision is, they take these glass fibers, they're thinner than a hair, a human hair. They weave them together into this pattern, and then they put epoxy or something, I don't know what the formula is, that makes it feel as smooth as glass. Oh man, it is so nice. There is a Spyderco Air, I should have pulled it out of the case to show you, that's a nice gentleman folder. It's a Bradley General, Gail Bradley General, a gentleman's folder. And it also has this glass. It's not Necision, but these glass fibers, and they don't have this glass filling. You can actually feel the fibers. In this case, it's just nice glass. It's called Necision because this is a VG10 steel made in Japan. Necision is the name of a specific pattern on a Japanese silk kimono. So Necision is really that pattern. But in the knife sense for Spyderco, it's this wonderful, beautiful pattern on the cricket. Spyderco cricket. By the way, don't forget the drinking game, the Keith Kevin Ken drinking game. I've said a couple of these already. What you do is you play this back, and when I say wonderful, beautiful, or I love it, take a shot. Because let me tell you, this is wonderful, this is beautiful, and man, I love it. This carry actually is the kind of stuff I like. I'm glad I have my tag watch with me. I'm glad I have a classic H.upman Cuban cigar. I'm glad I have the first Britannia coin for luck. This is how I think, because to me, they're simple and classic. Everything in this carry is simple and classic. I went a little fancy. See, that's me. Classic, plain Cav with a little flair. The little flair is the Necision on the cricket. But man, this is Sage 2. Plain and simple, one of the best knives made. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It has the Chris Reeve integral lock. Oh man, it has that deep carry wire pocket clip. It's all tie, smooth as butter. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love it. Take all those shots. Oh man, it has that great 50-50 choil I always talk about with Spyderco, so you can grip it. It has that classic Spyderco leaf shape. It's what is it? Yep, S30V steel. Spyderco made 4 of these. Sage 1, 2, 3, 4. They all were created to celebrate the genius of knife makers who created locks. This is to celebrate Chris Reeve. How apropos, huh? Chris Reeve and his integral frame lock right here. Spyderco always uses the Chris Reeve frame lock and always gives him credit for it. Oh, talk about classic. You can't have a classic carry if you're inside Keith Kevin Ken's mind or Kevin's mind. You cannot have a classic carry without the Sage 2. And you definitely can't have a classic carry for your large knife if you do what I do, 3 knives, one for the keychain, one medium knife, and one large knife. And man, plain Jane, Chris Reeve, Sebenza, but this is the classic Sebenza, not Sebenza 21. Can you see that? Well, I don't know if you see it, but it says classic Sebenza. There's more to this knife than you see right here, but let me talk about the classic. So, Chris Reeve, I believe in 1987, I don't have it written down, I believe 1987, came up with his Sebenza. It was called a Sebenza. Every single year since 87, he played around with it. He then came up with the classic Sebenza. This is the classic Sebenza. And later on his 21st anniversary, now of course he kept improving it every year. On the 21st anniversary, he created the Sebenza 21, which we all know. And I have already a video up, the small Sebenza 21s. I am redoing my large Sebenza 21 collection video. Hopefully I can get it up this weekend. But this is the classic. This is not a 21. And here's the other great thing about this knife. Oh, I love it. Oh, BG42 steel. Before Chris Reeve met with CPM and started developing S30V, and now all of the modern Chris Reeve knives, whether it's the Menundi, the Sebenza 25 or 21, has S35V steel. This right here, oh man, what a wonderful steel. I am not a steel expert. I am not a steel expert. I am not a steel expert. But everyone drools when I tell them I have a classic Sebenza with BG42 steel. Hard to find, and I really love it. So when I say it's a classic carry, hey, it's written right there. Chris Reeve wrote it. Here's the classic Sebenza. So don't confuse it. Not a Sebenza 21. That came later on his 21st anniversary. This is simply the classic Sebenza. Oh, man, it's beautiful. Now, how in the heck could I have knives to get away when I talk about classic? Huh? Great question. I'll tell you, this right here, first of all, is what you'll see on Instagram at Keith Kevin Ken. These elements made up my Instagram picture. There it is. But this ain't Instagram. We talk about what I played with before I came to the conclusion that we're going to go that way. And let me tell you, when I start talking about classic for the big carry, and if you're a Spyderco fan like I am, classic has to include the ParaMilitary 2. Has to include the ParaMilitary 2. It's such a beautiful knife. It's perfect EDC size. Just perfect. Look at it compared to the Sebenza. Just a little bit smaller. The large Sebenza, just a little bit smaller, which just makes it just great. It has that classic, oh man, that classic kind of leaf shape, kind of modified leaf shape. This is the Digicam. Oh man, this is the Digicam ParaMilitary. Digicam, it's camo, but a computer put it together. You can kind of see that it's Digi, so it's kind of unique because a computer made the pattern. That's Digicam. Oh man, I'm just checking. Yep, S30V steel, this one. The compression lock, Spyderco's compression lock is just perfect. And every knife that I have with the compression lock, look how it just makes everything so smooth. I love this knife. This is ParaMilitary 2, classic, classic, classic. In fact, Spyderco just announced they're going to go with a Sage 5 this year. I'm recording this in 2016. And the Sage 5 will have the same profile as all of them. But the lock they will be celebrating is their own compression lock, this lock. So if you can imagine a carbon fiber knife shaped like this, but with the ParaMilitary lock, Oh, it's just wonderful. ParaMilitary. This is the S35 version. I have to tell you, again, I kind of like classic. It's funny, I don't have an all-tie ParaMilitary or a carbon fiber ParaMilitary, but ParaMilitaries are just in demand. I've seen carbon fiber ParaMilitaries on the secondary market where they're asking $900 or $750. Nah, I love it, would love to own it, but that's way too much. That's two Chris Reeves, okay? Large Chris Reeves Sebenzas. But man, I had to grab this. I'm not a loud collector. Even now and then I will have a loud notebook. But man, is there anything better than this orange and black ParaMilitary 2? Is there anything better? It's just beautiful with that black blade, coated blade. This has, and I have no idea about this steel, CTS XHP. I believe it's a Carpenter steel. This is the one that people say is like the D2 steel. Very familiar with D2 steel because I'm a huge Browse blade fan, and Jason Browse only uses that. The ParaMilitaries are one of the knives that Spyderco only creates in the US of A in Colorado. But man, what a beautiful knife, isn't it? Another ParaMilitary. Yeah, that was the knife that got away. I'm using it as an excuse to play with my ParaMilitaries. You got a problem with that? Huh? Blurple. This ParaMilitary is Spyderco's Blurple. Spyderco is redoing a lot of their classic knives with and they're using dark blue if it's FRN. They're fiberglass reinforced nylon light carries. I have one in Mannix, dark blue, and one with the native. And then they do this combination of blue and purple, this bluish purple that the internet has called Blurple. But the reason they're redoing it with Blurple or dark blue FRN is the steel. CPM S110S steel. S110. S30V. S35 is what Chris Reeve is using on his Sebenzas. S110V. Not a blade genius, but I'm assuming that's good. I also played around because I get angry when I go through my cases. Here's a knife that got away for my keychain carry. It's called the Spyderco Kiwi. It's one of my earliest purchases from Spyderco. It is a wonderful, it's stiff. It's hard for me. I am not able to open this with one hand, even though that's a functional Spyderco hole. But it's so stiff, which is a good thing because it's a slip joint knife. Spyderco does what Spyderco does. Oh man, I love the blade profile. And look at this, small keychain knife, but look how my Michelin fat hands fit this thing. Look at it. Oh man, I'm not a huge lanyard fan. I keep them on my Sebenzas or my Chris Reeve knives, but if you, this fills my hand. And it's a keychain knife. Let's compare with the Cricut to see the size. You know, a little bit bigger. The actual blade is a little bit bigger. But man, oh man, is that wonderful or what? Here's another one that I don't know. 8CRL 3 MOV steel. I don't know. But for all you steel nuts, there you have it. But this is the Kiwi. I really want to carry it because I haven't carried it in a while. You're going to see this carried now that I found it in my case. But look how wonderful that is. Man, slip it. But again, the choil, full 50-50 choil, handle and blade. And it protects your hand and makes it even stiffer. Oh man, the Kiwi. This was one of my early, just loved it. I only used it as my keychain knife, like every single day. I love it. And then I got, now listen, see, I can't open, I keep trying to open one hand. Then I got the one with stag on it. Now, when I show this to people or I put it on my keychain, they go, that is one of the ugliest knives I've ever seen. Where the Kiwi is a nice profile, they go, man, that's ugly. But let me tell you about this stag knife. First, yeah, okay, it's ugly. But you see how it comes off of the side scales? You see? When you do this, it fits the hand already, I showed you. But that really fills the hand. That makes this a just wonderful freaking knife. Man, you grip it like it's, Then, of course, it is a slip joint, or as Spyderco calls them, slip it. A slip joint knife with no lock at all. But man, you feel so protected because of that choil, and it fits so great in the hand. So yeah, you can call it ugly. And everyone who sees it and plays with it does. But I kind of like it. Now, this is the knife that I do not carry, and I should. Kiwi. New Kiwi. I think it came out about, I'm recording this in 2016, about a year and a half. And look, Spyderco like answered all my prayers with the Kiwi. They really did. Oh, it's G10, which I love. Black G10. You know, stainless steel. Stainless steel just gets all smudged up and stuff. It's too slick. This G10 with just the right amount. It's a bigger blade, but look at this. You can't open it up easy. Has a choil, but did you hear that? They made it locking with their strong, very strong back lock. Oh man, I just really... Look at it. I love it. It's the perfect knife. And then you turn it over. There's my clip. You know it. They upgraded the steel from the steel that I didn't understand to VG10, which I do understand. Very nice steel. VG10 steel has the clip. Because it's VG10, they upgraded the steel, but still kept the price reasonable. Look at the clip. It's now a locking knife. Why haven't I been carrying it? Because it's one of my tweeners. You know, first, it doesn't have a lanyard hole, so it can't be a key knife, a key chain knife. But, you know, and it's a little bit too big for a keychain knife. And then a middle knife, it's a little bit too small for a middle knife. Not really. Oh man, this is going to be marked to carry as well as a medium-sized knife. Big hunka knife, Kevin. Use this as the medium, and then a small keychain knife. That's what I need to do. That's why I bought it, and I have not used it. Okay, this is the carry classic. Spyderco classic Sebenza with that wonderful BG42 steel that's hard to find. Oh, beautiful super steel that he had before all of the CPM 30V and CPM 35V steel. There's the classic. Most people have this on their top 5 list. I definitely have it on my top 10 all-time, all collection list. That's the Sage 2 full tie with that wonderful Spyderco blade profile, S30V steel with the Chris Reeve frame lock. Obviously, that has a Chris Reeve frame lock. And then, I have a collection of crickets. I'm going to do a small collection of crickets. It'll be a short video. But this one is with that Precision steel. That Precision scales. Man, the cricket with that wonderful frame lock, but Precision, that glass fiber weave, Precision being the name, a specific name for a specific pattern, this pattern, for a silk Japanese kimono. The knife that got away is the big carry, because I wanted a classic carry, is the classic Spyderco ParaMilitary 2. This is the Digi Cam scales. Oh man, ParaMilitary 2 with that compression lock. Oh, the Spyderco compression lock. I want to bow every time I say that name. This one is in S30V steel. I know it's loud, but man, in a very beautiful way. The first one is S30V. That orange one, with the black blade that I love. I just love it. I don't know why. I shouldn't, but I do. That has CTS XHP. Hey, people in the know. People in the know. People in the know say that's kind of like D2 steel. And then, of course, Blurple ParaMilitary 2. That's the S110 V steel from Spyderco. They're upgrading a lot of knives with that Blurple scale, G10 scale, or that dark FRN scale. Keeping the price down. It is not a limited edition, but really more than doubling the quality of the blade. S110 V steel. And then my Kiwis. Cannot open that thing with one hand. Love the Kiwi. Yeah, it's ugly, but it feels the hand just great. And this is a perfect carry, guys. Perfect Kiwi that has the back lock, has that wonderful wire clip, and that Kiwi shape, a little bit bigger. Oh, I love it. You'll see that in another pocket dump. There you have it. That's it. That is the pocket dump and the knives that got away. Thank you very much for giving me so much of your precious time. I really, really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumb this up. It helps me. It spreads the word. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We want to build this community. So hit that subscribe button. Comment, add. A lot of people have been adding, giving more information because I do this in one take early in the morning. Sometimes I misspeak or miss some information. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. You have a perfect day. As the police come get me, if you can hear that a siren. You have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.